Hello, this video is on lesson 7-4 and it begins on page 116. In this lesson we will learn about solving quadratic inequalities and to graph the solutions to quadratic inequalities. Just a recap about inequalities. The symbol is less than. Here we have greater than. Here we have less than or equal to, and this is greater than or equal to. Now, when we start graphing the solutions, generally when we have less than or equal to, our solutions are going to be shaded on the inside, and then when we have greater than or equal to, we're going to be shading, it's going to be shaded on the outside. And the only way this works is our smallest solution is on the left and our largest solution is on the right. Okay, so this is a chart that we're going to look back to, but let's go ahead and begin an example here. So here's our example, and what we want to do first is we want to turn this into an equation. So we have x squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 0. And basically what we do is what we did in lesson 7-3, which is to solve the quadratic equation by factoring. And in order to solve this equation, we will first factor using the box method. Now, remember from the box method, we are going to take our x squared, put it in the top left corner. We're going to take our constant, put it in the bottom right. And what we want to do is find the factors of the coefficient of x squared, which is 1, times the constant, which is negative 6, and find the factors of negative 6 that add up to give me negative 1, which is the coefficient of x. So what are the factors of negative 6 that give me negative 1? Well, 6 and negative 1, well, that gives me 5. What about 2 and negative 3? 2 times negative 3 gives me negative 6, and when I add those together, those actually give me negative 1. So there we go. It's going to be 2 and negative 3. Now, it doesn't matter where you put 2 at. We can put 2x right here, and we can put negative 3x here. Now that we have our factors, we have our box full, what we want to do is find the dimensions of this box right here, the top left box. And the only factors that x squared can have are going to be x and x, because x times x gives me x squared. Very simple. Now that we found the factors of this box, we can find easily the other factors. What can I put here in order to get 2x? X times what gives me 2x? Well, that's going to be 2, because x times 2 gives me 2x. How do I get negative 3x? X times what gives me negative 3x? Well, that's going to be negative 3. Negative 3 times x gives me negative 3x. Well, there we go. We went ahead and factored this. So x plus 2 and x minus 3 gives me 0. Is equal to 0. So we factored this. Now the next thing we want to do is use the zero product property and set each factor equal to 0. So we have x plus 2 is equal to 0 and x minus 3 is equal to 0. Next thing that we do is solve each equation for x. So we have to subtract 2 here from both sides, and we get x equals negative 2. And here we need to add 3 to both sides, and so we get that x is equal to 3. Alright, there we go. Now, to write the final solution, I need to write it as an inequality. And so x is going to go in the middle. And remember, I want to set it up in this format. My smallest solution goes on the left, my largest solution goes on the right. What is my smallest solution here? It's going to be negative 2. So it goes on the left. My largest solution is 3. And basically what we do is just plug in the inequality that we began with, which is going to be greater than. Here is my inequality solution. Now, since we have, let's go ahead and put these points on my number line. Again, since we have less than, or if we have less than or greater than, we're going to use an open circle. If we have less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, we use a closed circle. In this case, we're going to use open circle, so we have negative 2, and 3. Now here's the key part. Because I have greater than, that means that I'm going to be shading on the outside, which basically means to shade on the outside. And as you can see, that is the solution to the inequality, the graph. We graph the solutions to the quadratic inequality. Alright, we also did these for any extra practice, and that is lesson 7-4. Thank you.